Welcome to episode 392 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. I'm Ryan Walton, and as always, I'm joined by Dan Reamer.
Good morning again.
Good morning. Once again. Producer Gerald in the house.
Doing his thing.
Producing. So I want to, before we even start this week, I want to say Producer Gerald pulled all the news, all these stories. If you don't like them, you complain to him, not to me this week.
He did this week.
I was on holiday, and so Gerald stepped up, and so all hate mail should be sent directly to him this week.
Maybe you should give out his Twitter handle.
@HoffenShow.
Okay.
Spelled sort of like it sounds.
Yeah.
On Twitter.
So send it to him. I also was not able to pull news this week. You did ask one of us to. I was not able to. I had family things going on, so I was not.
And by the looks of it, Gerald pulled all the news.
Yeah, he pulled everything. Like, he left nothing to the imagination.
Yeah, he pulled all the news.
I don't know what they're going to want to talk about, so I'll just pull everything.
It's kind of nice because, see, I scrolled through everything last night. He sent it out, I don't know, like 1-something yesterday. So I scrolled through everything last night, and at first I was like, the flow's all wrong, because that's how much of an asshole I am.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he was worried about the flow. I mean, he just...
But then the more I read it, the more I like the flow.
I think it was about giving you options.
I feel like he put these in order.
Did
you put these in order, Gerald? Yeah, see, I think there's a flow to them, and I didn't... Initially, I didn't feel it.
Hold on. Okay. Gerald said he tried to put them in some kind of order.
Yeah, that's a flow.
I call bullshit. I don't think... I think since Ryan thinks it came out in some kind of order, that Gerald is now like, yeah, I did that.
No, so if you notice, you could tell because the PlayStation things are together, the Xbox things are together, and Nintendo's are together.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'm still calling bullshit, but
the order of the show is something I spend too much time on each week.
Probably.
Because I also struggle with how things should be ordered. Sometimes I have to call audible because I don't have them right. It doesn't feel right.
You have done that. Yeah.
Gerald left one news last because it was for him. Oh, yeah, that's not just for you though. That's special for my heart too.
I got to go back down. I can't remember because there's so many. They're all scrambling.
That's fortunate. It's not actually the last one. It's the one before the last one. That's fortunate. Yeah, Dan's trying to replace you fucking one weekend.
No, I'm not, because I don't want to pull news. Yeah, I don't want to pull news.
Yeah, please send that to the HR department.
Okay, the second...
They'll get back to you swiftly.
The second to last one. Yeah, this one's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's cool to everybody.
I like that one, too.
Making it about itself, but it's cool for everybody.
I can't wait to hear. Yeah. I've been paying attention to that one and all the videos you watched. We'll get there. Never mind.
Yeah, we'll get there. Yeah, buckle up.
It's a long ride.
So it looks intimidating. It's a longer document than what I usually send out.
True,
but it's really not. There's just I sometimes will clip out parts of the article that I don't deem worthy, and sometimes I don't. So it's not so bad.
Right, and Gerald has put every single picture from every single story.
He does have pictures and links and videos.
And links and videos and all that. He don't fuck around. He just all of it, page, copy, stick.
Yeah. For those that don't know, because we sound like we just get on here and bullshit for an hour each week, we actually put together a whole document every week. There's a rough idea of what we're going to do each week, especially around the news. We know what we're going to talk about.
It's an outline.
Yeah, and so...
Because we're pros.
Yeah, that shit has to be done every week, and we don't just get on here and just turn the mics on and free ball for an hour. We could, but that's not what we do. We prepare around here.
We don't. As far as the news aspect goes, as far as everything else, we're pretty much just winging it. But as far as the actual news goes, we do have a document for that we set up.
Yeah, it does have like the intro, outro. It has that stuff on there, but I mean, we've been doing this for 7 years.
Right.
I don't need... Yeah. I don't need the full outline anymore, but it's nice to have as a reminder.
Yeah, the outline, the way it starts is basically, welcome, how are we? Which is usually when we talk about all the stupid shit that we talk about that you guys either love or hate. And either way, it probably doesn't matter because we're still probably going to do that. We're not changing the outline, so...
Yeah, we're probably not going to change the outline. It's interesting that we get a full show out of what this outline is each week.
Sometimes
if we were to glance at it, there's a lot that we have to do, from the intro to the news and then down to where the news stops in the outro. I mean, the news most time takes like 20, 30 minutes tops. Yeah, so, that other 40 minutes just comes from our noodles.
40 minutes? Sometimes it's a lot more than that.
Sometimes. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes I perform better than other times.
Which I find it hard to believe. I always have, like, some serious issues with that because, Like, I've met us all, and our lives are not that exciting.
Yeah, I think the benefit that we have here is we haven't had a chance to catch up with anybody for a week. So the audience, the listeners, the friends of the show,
gets to be part of it too.
Yeah, well, we haven't caught up with them in a week, so we have a week's worth of. If we did this every day, episodes would be like 3 minutes long. But I can catch everybody up on a whole week of my life. That might take 10, 15 minutes. You know? Because you're catching everybody up on 6 days.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't. Yeah.
You don't have 10 minutes worth of content that happened to you in 6 days. I found out you spent an hour on boats last week.
Well, yeah, but I didn't buy a boat this week, so.
I mean, there's always next week.
No, stop it.
Now,
I do think I do think we're going to get it in the water this week.
See, that's content for next week right there. In the bank
goes. Maybe I can tell you about how my truck went in the river.
Right, that'll be 2 segments. Even we'll have to push one of those to the week after if the truck goes in the water. Now, producer Gerald tweeted at Boat Talk last week. The Boat Talk guys. They
did, and they got back to us. And it turns out that they just do like a conversational podcast on a boat, I believe.
Yeah, so it started as a YouTube channel, I guess, where they just had a conversation and they were on boats. Or boats.
They were on a boat, or they were each on boats.
Yeah, or multiple boats. We don't know, yeah. It's not even about boats, though, as it turns out.
No, it's just talking. They're talking on the boat, so.
Yeah. So our idea of Boat Talk is still alive, I think, because they're doing something different.
Yeah. So, congratulations to them.
Thanks for getting back to us. Yeah,
that's
promptly too.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah, it was pretty quick.
Swiftly, the Boat Talk guys got back to us and let us know that it's funny that they got brought up. Here's the thing. They said it's funny that they got brought up about when we're talking about boats because they don't actually talk about boats, and I would say not that funny because the name of your show is Boat Talk. That's not as big of a coincidence.
Yeah,
as
I would say the assumption there would be that you probably talk about boats.
Yeah. I don't think we were off base.
No, but I get that the secondary, reaction to that is that they talk on a boat. I get that Boat Talk works either way.
I actually like their idea better.
Of talking, yeah.
The idea that it's called Boat Talk and has nothing to do with the boats other than they're on one, I think is pretty genius.
Because it twists the expectation, and it's nice, and that's what
I'm not putting them down, but he said it's funny that's how you guys thought about us because we don't talk about boats. But I'm like, that's not that crazy. But I do love their idea.
Yeah. I think it's got a cool little M. Night Shyamalan twist. So
yeah, like if it was car talk, and then you realize that we're just in a car.
They were just in a car.
Yeah, we're not actually talking about cars. You'd be like, oh, well, that's neat, but I'm already here and I'm hooked. So I still haven't listened to their episode. I hope their content is good because they seem like nice gentlemen.
Yes.
So shout out to the Boat Talk guys for fucking week 2.
Yeah.
Of this.
I think it was cool they got back to us. And quick.
Another quick update. It's like 2-3 weeks ago, whatever. I talked about maybe wanting one of those slingshots, but I know how douchey they are.
Mm-hmm.
The Polaris Slingshots, for those that don't know. And Dan said they are douchey.
They are douchey.
Uh-huh. The Gerald might even chimed in with a douchey comment. I don't even remember. No, Gerald says he would never do that. So I had a chance to drive one 2 days ago or yesterday. Who knows? I had a chance to drive one.
It's 2 days ago.
And I super enjoyed myself. Now, here's the thing. I think they're douchey. I think I even said that.
Uh-huh.
They still look douchey. Like when I see somebody in one, didn't feel douchey at all driving it.
He didn't feel like a douche?
Not at all.
But, I mean, all right, I guess let's put this in some context here. I guess, okay, you didn't feel douchey driving it. Is that because you knew it wasn't yours and you were simply renting it to drive?
No, I would feel even less. Any part of douchiness I felt was because I rented it. Because it says like rent me on the side.
Okay.
I think if it was mine, I would have felt even less of it. I felt totally comfortable in it. And I'll tell you the part that it was unexpected is people kept coming up to me and talking about it. It's a conversation piece.
Well, I mean, they're new. Yeah, they look cool. But
there's a lot that I didn't realize as someone who enjoyed talking about having one, but never did any research. They have a car engine. I thought they had a motorcycle engine. They have an actual car engine in them. They're completely rear-wheel drive, which is odd because there's only a rear wheel. The two front wheels are just there for stability purposes.
So it has a steer axle and a drive wheel.
Yeah, it is belt driven like a motorcycle would be. But it is an actual car engine. It does have traction control. It's got radio, stuff like that. You can get it with navigation. If you look there, the interior, there's not many bells and whistles because the cockpit's waterproof. So nothing in there is fancy so that it can all get rained on if luck should not be on your side when you're out in it.
I'm assuming it's a 5-speed stick?
It is a 5-speed stick. The ones coming out in 2020, automatic is an option for them.
No.
Yeah, that's a vehicle I would like to have in a stick. However, if the deal was right, automatic would be okay.
I mean, if you're gonna go douche, go full douche.
The stick was it was like driving a giant go-kart. And
with 3 wheels.
As someone you can't tell it has 3 wheels when you're driving. But as somebody who has, like, I have a motorcycle, it doesn't feel like that. I thought it would feel the same way I feel when I ride that. I mean, you feel like you're on the fucking ground in this thing. Like, I feel like I could reach out and touch the ground at any point.
I wouldn't recommend it, but okay.
Yeah, it feels open, like in a way that I didn't think. Now, the one I drove had the tall windshield on it, which is basically what you're seeing right there. That's considered the tall. And I was worried about the amount of wind. It just goes right over top of you. Super
aerodynamic. That's good.
Yeah. You are supposed to wear a helmet when you drive it. The place I rented it from did require you at least leave the lot with one. I want to be clear for anybody that's thinking about these. If you're in an accident or you'll die. There's no airbags. There's a giant sticker as soon as you get in that says, "Hey, real quick, this didn't go through any of the safety stuff that a normal vehicle does."
Right.
Like, just so you know.
What's its top speed?
So it says online, I think top speed is 160 something. I'd say the one that I drove, now it's a rental and I'm sure people are hard on it. I'd be hard pressed to think you could do 160 in it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't describe it as fast. I would describe it as quick. It's very peppy when you're going, zooming around curves and stuff. It's not that's the same engine that the GM put in the Chevy Cobalts.
Okay.
It's not a performance engine. It's not a sporty engine. It's
just a standard 2.2 Ecotec.
It's just a 4-cylinder, regular ass. They put them in the Cobalt and they put them in something else. But yeah, it's not a fancy, it's not a sporty engine, and by any means, their new ones come with a different engine in it. The 2020s, I'm not sure the difference in them. But yeah, it was definitely fun to drive. I enjoyed myself. It's not like I was telling you before we started recording, it's not a daily driver by any means. It's like having a motorcycle or a boat or a 4-wheeler or something. It's like a thing you would do on the weekends, or if you had a day off work, you might jump in it to zoom to the store at night. You wouldn't want to drive it every day. But yeah, didn't feel douchey at all. And,
it just doesn't seem like... that's just not something I'm into.
It was pretty awesome to drive.
Cool for people that like it, but that's not something I'm into.
Yeah, it was way more car-like than I was thinking. In my mind, I thought the way they got around everything was that it was a motorcycle. It's classified as an autocycle, so you don't need a motorcycle license to drive it, but it doesn't have to hit any of the regulations because of it.
So it's like in between.
It is in between. It does have side mirrors. It does not have a rear view mirror. They get around it because they're not a car. It does have headlights, both running lights that are always on, and it has high beams as well. It does have turn signals, brake lights, park and brake, everything else. I think
probably something cool to zip around town in. Probably not something you want to take on the freeway.
Yeah, you probably could, but I don't. That's not, to me, the heart of that thing is not. That's one with a roof on it. The roofs that you can get are kind of neat. That's not the spirit of it. It's not to jump in and go to 3 hours away in. The spirit of it's to drive it in the same kind of places you would drive motorcycles, I think.
Yeah, just to cruise in it, kind of.
Yeah, that's the spirit of it. But yeah, update on that for anybody that was thinking about it or thinking it was hardcore douchey. I would say drive one because I was less douchey than I was expecting. It really just feels like you're in a car.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you do start out kind of douchey, so.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
it's not like there's a huge mountain you're scaling there.
They're affordable, too, as far as toys go, in my opinion, for something new like that. I mean, you can get them starting at $19,999. But, I mean, a side-by-side, like a Polaris side-by-side, you'll be well over that by the time you get any kind of options.
Yeah, on some of them, yeah.
The problem is there are like no used ones around there. Apparently they're huge on the West Coast.
I believe that.
And maybe friends of the show can let us know because we've got some
West Coast.
Zach's out there, Garrett's out there. Maybe they can let us know. But I was watching some reviews and they say that you see them quite a bit in California because it never rains. And you're not going anywhere fast, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was that was fun for me. It's not a boat. I didn't buy a boat. But I did rent.
But you rented a slingshot.
A thing, yep.
Yeah.
Also, real quickly, I looked at the Vanderhill. Type in Vanderhill, Vander Hill, Hill.
Vanderhill.
All one word.
Sound familiar to me.
So I thought about one of these as well. I think you'll like the looks of this better, but I actually think I like the slingshot better.
This sounds familiar to me. It's got an older style look, right?
Yeah, that's a Vanderhill.
I like that better.
Jamie Foxx has a Vanderhill, or had.
Oh, great. How much do those run?
They start at $24.
That's not too bad.
They have like a little roadster look to them.
Yeah, I like those.
They're definitely more car inspired. They're still a 3-wheel setup. About the same, 170 horsepower.
See, but that and the thing about the slingshot looks like it gives off the impression that it's like some off-road dirt vehicle, you know?
Yeah, it's not. But I will say they don't market it that way. That's the impression it gives off.
Whereas the Vanderhill, it looks like it's a cruising roadster.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's because Polaris makes it that in your mind you automatically think it should be able to.
No, but I mean just the way it looks, you know.
But when you're in it in person, like when you walk around one, it doesn't look like it's made to go off road. Like the tires, the setup, like nothing about it in person. In the pictures it does, but in person it doesn't look like it's made to go off road.
Yeah, and I know it's not meant to go off road, but looking at it, it looks like it should be able to, you know?
Yeah.
You know it's not. You know it's just a cruiser, but it's got much more of a dune buggy go-kart look, whereas that looks more like a classic cruising roadster.
They both look like video game cars.
A little bit, maybe.
Yeah, like they look like something you would get in Grand Theft Auto driving down the road. You'd be like, what the hell is that? I love the way these look, too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I don't like. I love the way these look. But they are, for the base model of this at 24 is way more bare bones. Like the one you're looking at is like loaded.
If I was going to get one, I'd get one of those.
It's pretty cool. They're pretty cool. Can-Am makes we were talking about it before. They make one that's much more like a motorcycle, but it's a 3-wheel setup too. 2 in the front, 1 in the back.
And it's much cheaper.
It is much cheaper.
I think
you
can get one maxed out at like $12,500.
It requires a motorcycle license, which is fine. But it's a motorcycle.
Does it? Even as a 3-wheeler?
Yeah, those are classified as motorcycles. I'm almost positive.
I didn't think they were.
Look how you open the door. Oh, that's fucking rad.
Fucking suicide doors.
Yeah. That cheap-ass fucking seatbelt clip I put on there, though. Everything else is, like, super nice, and they got that janky-ass seatbelt. The seatbelts are also on the inside of both vehicles, which threw me off every time. Because you never reach that way to put a seatbelt on.
Uh-huh. You got to reach into the center and pull it across?
Into the center and pull it out, yeah. Which is pretty wacky. Yeah, they're cool. I looked into those, too. I don't know. I mean, it's probably just something I want right now. It probably won't be something I end up getting.
Right.
But I'm definitely, like, after driving one, I thought I would want it less. I want it more. That way I can be that douchey guy up the street that has one. Is this the Can-Am?
That's the Can-Am.
Yeah. See, they look like more of a motorcycle.
Yeah, they do, but I like those.
Are they racing?
I do like them.
Is it racing a slingshot?
No, it's...
this is every 3-wheel vehicle ever.
This is all of them.
This is like my video right here. Oh, that thing's cool.
See, I guess that's the difference, because you sit on the seat
Yeah, see,
and right
you're like
up,
way
it's
more
a motorcycle. Whereas
well,
if you sit in a seat in a cab,
yeah, I'm telling you, the classification, that thing's crazy. Mark Wahlberg just bought a 3-wheel thing that looks like that. Saw it on TMZ this morning. It's a quick hitter for you. I think this autocycle thing is going to get real sketchy as far as the government's concerned. You should probably get one while you can.
Yeah, eventually it probably will.
Because they found a loophole in the system that allows them to put out these things that don't fall under either. There's no regulation for them either way. They're not motorcycles. They're not cars. But yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll get one.
Gerald.
Maybe I won't.
Ads keep popping up.
Look at that thing.
Yeah,
it looks like what Mark Wahlberg.
That thing's
bought.
like a police one.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
That ain't pulling me over.
There's a Deliberator. I don't know. You said they got a top speed of 160.
No, they said they had a top speed of 160. I didn't say anything because I don't think that it would do. The one I was in, again, it was probably driven hard. I wasn't super easy on mine.
Oh yeah, there he is. He got that. There it is.
Yeah, that is. First off, there's a lot wrong with this. It's called an FUV, a fun utility vehicle. So that's problem number one I have with it.
FUV.
Yeah, it's a Arkimoto FUV fun utility vehicle. It retails for just under $20,000. That one's a little smaller. Top speed is 75, 115 horsepower. But that is definitely a different statement than what I'm trying to make. That's like an egg.
A little bit. It's got a little bit of an egg shape to it.
It's like an egg. Now, if you were getting one, you're still sticking to the Vanderhill right there.
Me, yeah.
Yeah. Now, what about you, Gerald? What are your thoughts?
I like the Vanderhill.
Gerald likes the egg one that Marky Mark bought. What about the slingshot between it and the egg? Okay. So you like the slingshot better than the egg, but the egg better than the Vanderhill. I like that we just did 12 minutes on 3-wheel cars.
Yeah, I like the Vanderhill better. Sorry.
They're all cool. I would take any of them.
They're an old. I just like the old classic look of it.
I like the delivery version of that thing better than the one Marky Mark has.
Me too.
The cop one's pretty gangster too.
The Deliberator.
That's pretty cool looking.
It's got handlebars. It doesn't have a steering wheel. It's got handlebars.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
That's weird. It looks like it's ready to roll over right now, doesn't it? Like you turn too sharp.
See?
Look how he's riding it too. He's riding it like an asshole. I guess you have to.
Yeah,
if you turn too sharp in that, it'll roll. That's
a good
99.
Yeah, there's a good picture.
Yeah. I like the way that looks, but I'm out on that. And what am I going to do with something that does 75 miles an hour? What am I going to do with that?
I don't know. How often do you drive faster than 75 miles an hour?
Interstate.
You already said they weren't made for the interstate.
There you go. There's a Yamaha Tri-City for $3,000.
What? Where's? Oh, yeah.
It looks like a...
That's a moped.
It looks like a motorcycle fucked a tricycle in doggy style.
That is a...
It's ugly.
It's not ugly, but it's got more of a moped feel to it.
That fucker's ugly. Can-Am, if I was going to buy a 3-wheel motorcycle, I think I'd buy the Can-Am.
The Can-Am, yeah, me too.
That's the Caramel GTS. That's the fucking loaded out version of the one that you like.
Yeah, it is.
You can get it with a roof on it too. See? Look at that.
I don't like it with the roof.
You don't like the roof?
I don't like the roof.
That bitch is $46,000.
Just write a check. Cool. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Just wait to cash it till next Thursday. The money's there, but just hold up though.
Yeah, I got to get out of the country real quick.
Now, what are your thoughts on the helmet?
I don't know.
Before Dan talks, you should wear a helmet if you have one.
Yeah, you should wear a helmet if you have one, but I can understand why you might not want to.
It tells you in the inside there that you have to wear a full face one, but I'm like, is that in the spirit of this? If I'm all closed in like that?
Are you all closed in, though? Because I think they're worried about bugs hitting you in the eyes, is what I think they're worried about.
I think they're worried about your skull cracking when you hit something.
No, maybe that too. But I don't know. It's full face. Helmet, full face. As long as it's a helmet, it shouldn't matter.
I want to be clear. I think you die either way in this.
Oh, yeah, probably.
No matter the helmet, yeah.
I would imagine
if a car
so.
hits you or something, you're just dead. Which, again, is why you don't drive it like in the city. You know, you get this thing in open road.
Yeah, like out in the country or something.
That's charming.
That's something.
The Microletta scooter. 50 miles per hour.
That's a
charges
moped.
for 4 hours. Yeah, that's a cool looking moped. Gerald, would you ride that?
Moped.
Gerald likes mopeds. Ooh, I love that thing.
Wow, what is that?
That's the same thing.
Just with a... No, it's not. How?
That looks like the Steve Urkel car. The Isetta that he drove, that he had in that show.
Family Matters.
Yeah. Ooh, what is that?
Show? It's a Kawasaki.
T-Rex RR. Hey, we're going to end this segment, but see how much that cost.
It's $65,000.
Is that the cheapest one could get that? A T-Rex RR with a Kawasaki 1440 engine on it. You like that?
That's all right. Not for the price.
Oh, no. I'd much rather buy the $20,000 Slingshot for the price.
To be clear, if someone wanted to give me all of these, I would take all of them. It's fine.
That little green one was pretty cute.
For 54?
No, that little bitty green that was on the moped page.
Yeah, it was like 54.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like it for that. That's like a stretched out one. All right.
5,400.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Shaq's got a Slingshot. Look how long they had to make it. It's a 4-seater, too. He's such a big gentleman.
He's large, yeah.
That is a Slingshot, right? Yeah, it says it on the back.
Yep.
So big. It's not even customized. I think they just had to build him one.
I'm sure that's how that
he's
went.
a fan of them. He's with another one here.
He likes them.
He's a car guy.
He is a car guy.
Yep. But because of that and everything else going on at work, I just played Animal Crossing. I played a little more Last of Us Part 2. Hopefully I'll be able to finish that up this week. And then I started Professor Layton on the Switch. And that game makes me feel like a dummy. Just like the old Professor Laytons did.
That's what they do. Yeah, like I said, I had some family stuff this week, so I really didn't play a lot. I also just played some more Last of Us 2, and hopefully I will finish it up this week.
Gerald, you still playing Animal Crossing? Yep. Are you a 4-star, 5-star, 3-star? You're not a 0-star. You said that last time. You're for sure not a 0-star, though. I think like minimum you're a 2-star. I don't think you can be lower than a 2-star. You go talk to Isabel.
You got to go talk to Isabel. She'll tell you how many stars your island has.
Yeah, I guess you could be a 1-star.
You can be a 1-star.
Have you paid your house off?
You're just collecting up resources?
You're just paying them bills. Are you on? Which one are you on right now? So you're on the basement. You're paying off the basement. 2.4. And you've paid how much of that? Also, you have the full 2.4 million. Now, not to ruin this for you, but money becomes way easier to get after you play for a while. Because I did what you did, and that is not the correct way to do that. So that you know. Because it made life...
Just hold on to your loans.
More money than I could ever need now. I have $9 million in the bank. Zoom in on one of those. The Professor Layton game I'm playing is Professor Layton and Mystery Journey. Is that what it's called? Mystery Journey. Yeah. You don't play Professor Layton in this, so you do work for the Layton Detective Agency, though.
That's why it's just Layton's.
Yep. But first puzzle, I spent like 20 minutes staring at the very first puzzle, only to realize that it was super simple. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember why these games fucking suck for me. Because they remind me that I'm a moron. But then other puzzles I breezed right through. So it's just like old Professor Layton. Way too much dialogue in this game. Like, way too much. Like, 40 minutes for me to solve a puzzle before I get to do the next one. And it's like a point-and-click adventure, sorta. Like, you're traveling from area to area, and then it becomes one of those, like, I Spy deals where you have to, like, click on something, and then that starts the puzzle.
Yeah.
I just want the puzzles. Just feed them to me. And feed them to me a lot faster. I don't need this to be a 100-hour game. So I'm not thrilled with where it's at so far. The puzzles have been neat, but I'm not thrilled with how it started as far as, like, you're solving cases, and the way you solve them is weird for me because it's a lot of, like, go here, click on this one thing, now go back, now click on this one thing, now go back, and now you get to do a puzzle. Now go here and get to talk to these 5 people, and then go here, and now you get to do a puzzle. I just want puzzle.
That sounds like another game I probably won't be playing.
Yeah, you shouldn't play it. Gerald's a 1-star.
Gerald's a 1-star island.
A 1-star. I thought for sure you'd be at least a 2. Now, how many people do you have living there? 6 people. Yeah, you gotta... It's time. It's time to start thinking about expansion. It's time to start thinking about building the island up. And buy those turnips. It's Sunday. Get to them. Yeah, the turnip game is strong. I bought $1 million worth of turnips for 91 last week, and I sold them for 543 each.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was cool. That was all right.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah, well, it wasn't bad. Let's jump into Gerald's news. Gerald's news of the week.
Gerald's news of the week.
Reggie. Remember Reggie, formerly of Nintendo?
Reggie Fils-Aimé.
My dude. So several months ago, we talked about him joining the board of directors for GameStop. Mm-hmm. Questionable decision, but obviously a money grab, and I ain't mad at him. Mm-hmm. Well, now he has joined Rogue Games. So he said he was retiring. Turns out he's not retiring because he's out of college. He's apparently on the board of directors for 2 things now. I think what Reggie meant was he was retiring from Nintendo. Yeah,
yes,
because he has taken on advisory role with Rogue Games. And I'm sure that's not a household name for you. It was not for me. They publish titles like Super Impossible Road on Apple Arcade. He's going to serve as a strategic advisor to its board of directors. So, yeah, that was odd. I didn't see that coming. Not for them.
Yeah.
So
he's not slowing down.
I mean, he brings, as this article says, he brings swagger with his name. Like, he automatically will boost up whoever he goes to.
Right.
Because he was very likable at Nintendo and now the face of Nintendo.
I'm just a little confused on whether he's serving as an advisor to both boards.
Yeah.
Or just...
Best I can tell.
But yeah, best I can tell, I think he's advising both GameStop and Rogue Games.
Yeah. When asked about his definition of retirement on Twitter, he said, helping people I value, developing the next generation of business leaders, helping create a world-class business culture, sharing my experiences and having fun. A perfect retirement plan.
It sounds like work, but...
Shorthand is middle finger, is what he said.
I do what I want because I'm Reggie.
Yeah. Wipe my own ass this morning, too, for anyone curious. Anyone keeping track. Congrats to Reggie. Big win for Rogue Games, who have not made anything that I've heard of. I think getting Reggie's a big win. I'll tell you right now, if we could have a third talking chair on this show, it would be Dan, Reggie, myself, and producer Gerald.
Yeah.
If he was interested, we'd bring him in. I want you guys to understand. Reggie would be here in a heartbeat.
Yeah. I like how you make it seem like Reggie's the only one.
I mean, we would take on anyone of note, but Reggie especially.
We would take on quite a few people of no note, might I add.
Mostly of note, though.
Of note works better. I mean, as far as the business plan goes, yeah. But
right now, if I put you on the spot and said anyone could join the show, who would you put on here?
Well, not anyone.
No, I mean that would make sense. I mean, don't put someone who hates video games on here.
I don't know who hates video games.
Yeah, well, don't put them on.
I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I mean, that's not
what's
just
your,
a spur
What's your
of the
gut
moment
reaction
decision.
on who you would put on here?
Okay, I have absolutely no reason why. But for some reason, when you said that, the first person that came to my mind...
This is bad. I can already tell it's bad.
I don't know why. The first person that came to mind was Richard Grieco.
Okay, that's not the first person that came to mind for me. I thought you were going to say maybe Adam Sessler or somebody.
No, I picked Booker. I picked Dennis Booker. Richard Grieco.
That's okay. All I could think about when I was asking you is Mark Wahlberg because of the car. And I feel like while he's a fun guy, he would not be fun on this show.
Yeah.
I don't know that he plays video games either.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way about Richard Grieco. I don't think he would be either.
Yeah, but Mark would bring in way more views.
Well, he would, yeah. But
we just put him in the thumbnail every week.
Yeah, I mean, I know. But I don't know. I like Booker. That was a good show.
Now, I want to be clear. Our odds of getting one of the two, way better with your choice. Gerald, who would you put in if you could put anybody in right now? He's gone with no. Kevin Pereira. He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it, though.
No.
What about Richard Grieco? What's he up to? Didn't we try this before? Didn't we try to get him on before?
Oh yeah, because I posted. Because he liked a thing I said.
Yeah, and we tried to get him on the show.
Yeah,
he already shot us down. Reggie's still out there for us.
Reggie's still out there. You're right.
Next story. Congrats, Reggie. Congrats, Rogue. Good luck, GameStop. We got a up close and personal look at the DualSense. It was shown off by Jeff Keighley as part of his Summer Games Fest stream. He actually played a brief side-by-side with Astro's Playroom, which was thought to be a tech demo, but seems more like a long tech demo.
Yes. The controller is a little bit larger.
Yep. He showed off the triggers, how everything works.
Just a tiny bit.
When you see them side-by-side there, are you surprised that it's a little bit bigger?
No, I expected it.
Yeah, me too.
It just looks a little bigger.
Now, I'll tell you what, it looks way better to me. And I don't mean better as in that it works better, like visually.
Better than it was when it was originally revealed?
No, I've always thought the controllers, I like it.
Okay.
Next, that DualShock looks 30 years older than that DualSense. When they're side by side like that.
Yeah, it definitely looks older. I can see
it looks prehistoric to me. And I don't know if it's because of how fancy the DualSense is.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. I don't know. I'm excited about it. Keighley did use it again. Astro's Playroom is thought to be a full game. It's kind of set up in different components. You play like inside of a computer. You start with a CPU lobby and a cooling station area. Right. For each section showcased, again, they showed off the adaptive triggers. There was a character whose body was a spring. And Keighley talked about how the controllers felt. It was like somewhere between showing off the game and an infomercial for the controller.
Yep.
And I'm excited about getting my hands on that controller. I think that I will like the way that controller feels. I could be totally wrong.
Yeah, I think it looks good. It seems to control very well from what I saw. So, which is really what it matters, right?
Yep. He also spoke to worldwide head of marketing Eric Lempel. He said Astro's Playroom is intended to show off the benefits of the controller and various features of the system. So think NAC 3, basically. A different different version of the game was shown to developers earlier for the same kind of reason. And when asked about the difference between their Shift and Microsoft's parent non-Shift when it comes to next-gen design, I thought he gave a real canned generic answer that I don't really care for.
What was that answer?
He said Sony is more, let's see, whereas Microsoft trying to Sony, let's see, a big pillar of our company is innovation. We want to push the boundaries of play. What's unique about the DualSense is it plays into our senses. He also said the PS4 will continue to be a big part of what we do. There will be a lot more to come on PlayStation 4. There's still a ton of life left in that product. Mm-hmm. Look, when you change everything and your competitor doesn't, your answer doesn't have to say, well, we're innovative.
Right.
Because really the only person that should be able to say that's a Nintendo.
True. I mean, the PlayStation
innovation.
5 is still essentially what a PlayStation 4 was.
And a new wrapper.
Right.
Let's calm down with the innovation talk. And also, I don't need anything to appeal to my senses, I don't think. Now, maybe I do, and I just don't know it yet.
Well, I think I honestly believe that I think Sony might be a tad worried. From everything that we've seen and heard, it looks like really the only thing that Sony, other than winning this generation, the only thing that Sony is really in the forward charge in bringing to the table is exclusive games. Everything else, from what we've seen and heard so far, if you really want to talk about innovation, I really think Microsoft's leaning a little more that way, more so than Sony. I think Sony's looking to give you more of the same with some minor improvements.
I mean, I think that depends if you're talking innovation through games or innovation through hardware.
True, and true.
But also, let's jump into the next story. When asked about the colors of the controllers, Lampale said we'll talk about that at some point. It's difficult enough to get a single product out the door. So while he wasn't definitive, it sounds like in the beginning black and white is going to be your choice. But so I feel a little bit about what you're saying, that Sony might be worried, but then this next story goes completely against the fact that they might be worried.
Right.
Because apparently they have upped production of the PS5, and they're hoping to have 9 to 10 million units ready by launch, which is a very aggressive number.
Yeah, it is.
So this came from Nikkei Asian Review. The site sources claim that Sony has significantly increased its shipment production for the next-gen console. This comes after a report that in April that said the PS5 launch could be lower than that of the PS4. But that is apparently not the case. The company increased production orders from 6 million to 9 million units through the window for the same time, for the time of their production, which was not mentioned in the report. These units will be assembled in Sony's new factory in Japan, where the robots outnumber the humans. Separately, Bloomberg reported that Sony is aiming to produce 10 million PS5 consoles by the end of 2020. Now, again, that doesn't necessarily mean they'll be on shelves at that time, but it does mean that they are planning to produce it.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of see what happens there. Now, one thing that I thought was pretty funny is that everyone had decided the PS5 pre-orders were going live. And
Sony didn't know anything about it.
People lined up at stores to pre-order them, and Sony didn't know anything about it. And they also let everybody know that the launch of the PS5 pre-orders won't be a surprise.
No,
they're not going to surprise people. They're going to let people know when they're going to go live before they go live. I just thought it's funny people line up at stores, and Sony's like, hold the fuck up.
Yeah.
Who told you to do that? We didn't tell you to do that. And maybe that's why the 9 million number is okay, because people are lining up at stores to buy them when you can't even buy them yet.
Yeah.
You don't even know how much they cost.
Yeah.
People don't even know how much they cost, and they lined up to pre-order one. Those are fanboys there. Diehards.
That's the name.
Anything to add about that? Making a lot of PS5s.
They are making a lot of PS5s. I still stand by my original statement. I do think Sony still has some worry. Just because at this point, all they, like I said, really seem to be leading the charge in is the game aspect of it, which, of course, I know that matters. That is super important. I think Microsoft is leaning a different way with kind of, the whole multimedia aspect of things as opposed to just gaming, playing on everything, play anywhere, all that stuff. So I guess maybe worried isn't the right term. I
just think the strategy is way
different plan.
Yeah.
I think the two companies have a totally different plan for what they're trying to do, which I think is not something you normally see in competing console companies.
Well, and we're going to talk a little bit about Microsoft next, but I think, even the way that he said, hey, the PlayStation 4 is not dead, there's a lot of life left in that system. It's like, that's such an add-on comment to the fact that you're having to explain why you're jumping onto a whole new console and basically forgetting the other. But I think that's their strategy. I don't think you have to explain it. I think that's what they're doing.
Right.
They don't want you to continue to play PS4.
No, they want you to buy the PS5 and play.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't want you to get Horizon 2, whatever that's called. You remember Forbidden West, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
I think so.
They don't want you to buy that and play it on PS4. They want you to play that on PS5. They think that'll be the best
right.
experience for it. They don't want to develop 2 copies. They don't have the PC thing down where you just put it in whatever and it looks however it looks. I mean,
right.
I think they're having to explain maybe more than they want to, which is why they seem a little worried, because they're having to tack on, oh, but the PS4 is not dead. That's not even something I think they won't even have to say. It's not dead. It's just not their focus anymore.
Yeah. And I agree with that.
And I kind of don't want it to be.
No.
But I'm also perfectly okay with it being the focus for Microsoft. I think they're doing 2 different things.
Yeah, and that's what I was just about to step in and say is, again, I think it goes back to different strategies and different business plans for 2 competing companies in the same market. I think it's good. I think it's something we haven't seen before.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see which one of these comes out on top.
It is called Forbidden West.
End, you know?
Yeah, it will be interesting. So to piggyback off of that, Phil Spencer confirmed what we had already heard. So one of the key differences between Microsoft and Sony for the next generation strategies is that Microsoft will not be releasing exclusives for the Series X console out of the gate. Obviously, Sony plans to do that probably at launch, at least with Spider-Man Miles Morales. That game will probably be really close to launch.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
But I don't know that won't be on PS4. I don't
either. It may be, but I think, obviously, going back to it, I think they want you to buy it for PS5.
Yeah, the games you should buy should be yours to play no matter what console you play on within the Xbox family or even beyond to mobile devices with the rise of xCloud. Phil Spencer has now reiterated Microsoft's stance, confirming that Microsoft will not release any first-party games exclusively on the X for the next couple of years. You won't be forced into the next generation. We want every Xbox player to play new games from the Xbox Game Studio. He said this in a blog post. While that's why Xbox Game Studio titles will release the next couple. That's why Xbox game titles will release the next couple of years, like Halo Infinite, will be available to play on Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and we won't force you to upgrade to the Series X at launch just to play Xbox exclusives. This, of course, piggybacks off of Matt Booty's comments from earlier in 2020, if these sound familiar.
Yeah.
They also announced that xCloud is going to be part of Game Pass, or what do they call it? Xbox Live Ultimate? Xbox...
Whatever it is now, yeah.
The Ultimate, whatever that is. xCloud will be a part of that. The assumption is that the xCloud service will probably start with all the games on Game Pass, making those playable anywhere. So... Again, this xCloud is going to move forward pretty swiftly. I think from here, that Phil also said that is not the name of it. Project xCloud is just that. It is just the project name. He said think of something more in line with Game Pass streaming or Xbox Live streaming or Xbox streaming, something more in line with that. It won't be called xCloud. So it seems like xCloud is going to be more of a complementary service versus a pillar. That they necessarily, or a new service that they're going to include it with the Ultimate. They want you to have Xbox Live, they want you to have Game Pass, and they want you to have xCloud. So they are doing something different over there.
Yeah, and I think that Microsoft's plan, I think you're even though these are all separate, I think you're going to see them work within the infrastructure with each other in a phenomenal way that I don't think we've seen before. I really think this is... If anybody can make this work the way they want it to, I think Microsoft's the one, just because they have their hands in so much, and they have access to so much. My only concern is with innovation, sometimes the greatest innovations have to come out of failure first. And I don't know that we've seen something of this magnitude attempted before. And I just don't know that Microsoft can afford any stumbles, so they have to make sure everything is working perfectly and on par and working within each other the way it's supposed to, or I think they might be screwed right out of the gate.
So I understand the thought process here. I understand what I think they're trying to do. For me specifically, this doesn't appeal to me at all.
It doesn't me either, but I think it does for a lot of the younger generation coming up.
Really, you think the younger generation wants to play on their Xbox?
I think they want to play it wherever they can.
I don't see the problem with playing it wherever you can. I think they don't want to play it on outdated hardware, even if they can.
And I think I think you're this way you're not leaving out any of that demographic. Some people won't be able to afford the new Xbox yet.
Yeah, I get that, but is that not part of it? Do you want a lesser experience either on the new platform or the old platform? In order to be able to play it, do you want a lesser experience on one? Because it has to. So it's at the expense of something. So
it's at the right. But
do the older ones look worse, or do the newer ones look not as good as they could in order to be able to? And
again, I don't know. We don't know. We'd have to see. We don't know how that's going to work.
But what I'm saying is there a benefit to you to be able to do that if it weakens either one of those products?
To me,
yeah,
no.
Yeah, and see, that's what I worry about too. I get it. I get that it's there. I get that it's an option. I love xCloud. I love Game Pass. I think Xbox Live's a good service. The 2 years with no exclusives, I don't love that. I don't love that for 2 years, all those studios have to worry about both. And here's the thing. I know people are going to say, well, I could play StarCraft on a 20-year-old computer or a brand new computer. That's PC games. That's how they're all set up. That's not the way consoles have traditionally worked. And it seems like every time they do this with a console, they have to water down one of the versions.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know that obviously a brand new computer is going to run StarCraft better than a way old computer. But at the same time, that's the world you're in PC and not the world you're in here. So I don't know, like you were saying, do they have to fail this generation to inform people that this is how it's going to be going forward?
Yeah. And I don't know. But I do think, what you're going to see is Microsoft servers and Microsoft's infrastructure, xCloud, all of that. I think you're going to see those play heavily into it. They could do something along the lines of Google, where it runs just as good on this, that, and the other thing. Because of the servers. They
could, but is everything going to, or is it just the games on Game Pass that are going to?
Right, and that's, again, we don't have enough information.
But if anything, I still...
But I think Microsoft is giving everybody a hint by talking so much about the infrastructure that they're putting in place.
So to do what you're saying... Okay, so with what you're saying, if I bought Halo, let's just use Halo because we know it's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is if I bought Halo for my Xbox One X, I would be playing the xCloud version of that game even with a disc.
I don't know.
No. But that's what you're speculating. It would have to be, because that's the only way I could still get the same experience is if I wasn't playing it natively on my console.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it's much more complicated than that, but yes.
No, yeah, but I mean, it's hard. Like, so if it works,
and they may not match up all the way across, because I would imagine
in order for them to match up the way you're saying it, you'd have to, on the Xbox One version, you'd have to not be playing the version off the disc, because it can't look as good unless they water down the Series X.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because the Series X wouldn't be the one that you would play. It can run it.
But I don't know if they can give some sort of boost to the server with online connectivity. I don't know that. I don't know any of that.
Well, you're not playing with xCloud just like Stadia. You're not playing it on your console. You're playing it on theirs.
Right.
So they could make it then look as good as...
But do those servers somehow able to boost it? I don't know what their plans are with their... Like, I don't know all the technology that's available out there. So I don't know if that's something that can happen or not.
If it worked that way...
plan is.
It could work that way. The problem with that is then you again, and not alienating everyone, you alienate the people that don't have good internet in order to be able to do that. So,
well, yeah, I think
you're still carving it up, whether they want to say it or not. And I don't know how they'll do it. My assumption is that the series, it just won't look as good on an Xbox One X. It just won't look as good.
Yeah, but gameplay may be fine.
Maybe, but I mean... If a game is designed for me not to have load times, and that's how it's supposed to be enjoyed, but then the One X version has load times, does that change the... there's a lot in play here where me
that we don't know, that we just don't have information on.
Is lucky enough to be able to afford my console. I can get a PS5 or an Xbox Series X when they come out. Can't get them both, but I can get one. As someone who can afford to do that, it's way less appealing. I like the idea I've come around. I've come a long way. I used to always want backwards compatibility. I kind of like that Sony is like, fuck you when it's over.
Yeah, I don't need backwards compatibility because
Nothing chaps my ass like someone bitching about not being able to play a 10-year-old game that they wouldn't play.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing. How much have we complained about, PS3 remakes for PS4? Isn't that kind of the same idea?
That's not going to go away because that's about money.
Right. But that's to me why backwards compatibility isn't important.
Yeah, I mean, you could still get it. I mean, you can't get every game. It's like I've complained about wanting to be able to play Mod Nation, but realistically, how many times would I play that if I could? Once, twice?
Right. I love Siphon Filter.
How many times?
I'm never going back to play it again.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't stand a lot of my friends, a lot of friends of the show, a lot of just real life friends will bitch about not being able to play a game that's on PS1 or PS2 or PS3, and I'm like, bullshit, you'll hate it.
Yeah.
Suck my ass. You don't actually want to play
PS3 might not be too bad later PS3.
You don't.
No one's going back to play a PS2, PS1 game.
It's not even that.
And very few people are going back to play a PS3 game, regardless of how much different.
You just don't want to play it. I don't care what you say. You don't want to play it. You might think you do.
No.
And you might force yourself to, but you don't want to.
Huh. No, you're right. I agree.
So I don't know. As far as the strategy goes, right now, and this is not going to come as a shock. Most people probably assume I was already going to buy the PlayStation, and I was. But as far as strategy goes, I don't want to cancel the PS4, but I'm ready to think about the next thing.
Yeah.
Gerald's got a question. Let's hear it. He said stupid, but I don't want to. I'll let you know. On backwards compatibility. All right, saying both systems, same price. All right, so Gerald's question is, if both systems came out at the same price, how much would I pay extra to have backwards compatibility on either of those for the console? Let's say a la PS3.
My answer?
It's going to be the same answer as me. Yeah, I'm going to pay anything for that. And, let me rephrase. If it was like $25, I guess I would give it to you just in case. But at $50, I don't think I'm interested. At $100, I'm 1,000% not interested.
Yeah, I'm not interested at all. $25, I won't even pay for that.
Yeah, it's again, you're not going to want to go back and play PS4 games much past the launch of PS5. Like, yeah, in the first few months, you might want to because you don't have anything to play.
I'll be the first person to tell you this. You know how many PS4 games I want to go back and play that I've already played?
Right.
Fucking zero.
Right.
So why do I want to go PS3, PS2, PS1?
Yeah. If
I wasn't going to go back and play anything, it'd be something that I already loved on this generation's console.
Now, Gerald, how much would you pay for this feature? $50. Look, I'm not knocking backwards compatibility totally. Yeah, he says he could sell his older systems. I get that. From a collector standpoint,
doesn't make sense, right?
You want the actual hardware. You're both coming
at it at two different spots.
Yeah, you want the actual hardware if you're going to go that route. And if you don't, the shit's all... I mean, I've really grown as a person. The shit's all clutter. It's all just fucking clutter. You don't need any of it. You need the thing that you play, and everything else is maybe needs to go.
Yeah, I got tons of shit I don't fucking need. Yep.
Yeah, again, great point. PlayStation Now, Game Pass. I mean, the shit is there if you want to play it. But over the last several years, the stuff is less important to me than it used to be.
Right. I think we need to be clear, Ryan. Because I think what you're saying and what I'm saying are the same thing. But when we're talking backwards compatibility, we're talking. You put your disc in. You put your PS1 disc in, and it plays your PS1 disc.
Yeah, we should have clarified. Everything you buy on the store should be backwards compatible. Because that's fucked up not to do, and it's a very Nintendo-ass move.
Yes.
But yeah, I am referring, and so are you, to putting a disc in your system.
Yes. Okay. I assumed you were. But
it's a shitbag move if they charge me anything to be able to use my PSN library.
Yeah, but I thought we should clarify that I don't need the drives inside to be able to pick up shit that old.
Yeah, it's a good point. Now, what about the have you thought any more about the discless version or the disc version?
Like, what do you mean? What have I thought about it anymore?
I mean, have you?
I don't know that I had to. I'm probably going discless.
Yeah, you said that before. I just didn't know, like, with Tom, if you had thought any differently.
I don't think there's anything for me to do. Listen, discless is so much easier for me.
Now, what about the price? If they were the same, I assume you would get the disc version because why wouldn't you?
If they were the same, I would get the disc version. I think for the discless version, I really think I don't know. Either way, I'll end up getting the cheaper one.
Like $50 though?
I'm sure. I think it needs to be more 100, but
okay.
I could do 50.
Now let me throw another scenario at you. Same price, bigger hard drive with the digital one than the disc version. So let's say
bigger hard drive. So it's got like what 1 terabyte.
Let's say 1 terabyte.
Gigs?
Let's say 1 terabyte with the disc version. Okay. 2 terabytes with the discless version, same price.
Same price.
That's the model I prefer as a. If I was
a 1
at Sony,
a 1 terabyte hard drive is going to cost you $90 easy.
Right, so you would be down for. You would do the bigger hard drive discless.
I would do the discless with the bigger because essentially it's still a cheaper console.
Right. Yeah. See, if I was Sony, I understand that marketing's tough because you're going to have 2 consoles at the same price on a shelf and people won't understand. So they won't do it this way. But if I was doing it that way, I'd put a bigger hard drive in the discless version.
That's a good idea. A 1 terabyte hard drive.
And it's make them the same price.
An extra terabyte hard drive.
And make them the same price. Red box and a blue box. Or it's Sony, so a white box or a blue box.
Yeah. No, I'm 100% in on that.
Yeah.
Make them the same price, and I'd probably still buy discless. Because I think at that point, it still just makes sense for me.
Yeah. What about you, Gerald? Are you still on the disc train? Yeah, Gerald, he loves a hard disc. Yeah. All those things I agree with. I love being able to hold it. I love being able to unwrap it. I love being able to send you a picture of it. I love the way it feels when I first take the cellophane off of it. I love the way it smells. I love bitching when I get one that has a disc that's rattling around inside of it. I love all those things about a disc. And I want to make this clear. I will have the disc version of the PlayStation and or the Xbox. I could get around. Let me say, I play so few games on the Xbox. I could get around having the discless version of the Xbox because I don't play enough over there. I could get away with that, but I'm going to get the disc version of the PS5 because I like owning the physical copy. I like seeing them on a shelf, and like you said, I like being able to swap games. I think that there's a benefit to that, and not for everybody, but there is. With you and myself, for example, we live close enough that swapping games is easy for us.
I have no one to swap with.
Right, so for me, I'm going to get the disc version. I understand. I don't have the same fight I do with like no exclusives. I have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with the discless version of these consoles. I don't have a problem with it. I hope they never phase out the disc. I know they're going to.
Eventually it'll happen, yeah.
But I am super cool with there being 2 different versions and you picking your poison. And hell, make disc games harder to find if you want. Make it where you have to pre-order them to get them because they're not producing them in masses like they used to before. I'm fine with that.
Right. Now here's what I'm going to have a problem with. And then what I'm afraid we're going to see.
They're the same fucking price. I want to be clear on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You knew exactly where I was going.
Yeah, because they're not going to be cheaper.
The thing is, if you're going discless, I think the games need to maintain the $60 price point.
They're going to be buying the same price.
Go to $70. It's not going to happen. I know it's not going to happen. Yeah. But I'm telling you that I think that is the way it should be.
Yeah. These games are going to be more expensive, too. I hope everyone has understood that from everything we've talked about from the past year. These games are going to cost more.
Yeah.
Now, I do think that opens up more of a middle ground for games like Hellblade and Plague's Tale and what's the Man of Medan? What are those called?
Yeah.
The Dark Pictures Anthology.
Dark Pictures.
There's the space for these AA $30 to $40 games to come out for even the Uncharted, Lost Treasures, the whatever that's called. That's not Legacy. Right either. What's
Lost Legacy.
Lost Legacy. The First Light. There's going to be a spot for these games to come out and be cheaper. What I think the new price point for games does is create an awesome AA or even AAA middle space.
Right.
Because the problem we have now is we equate value with game length, and that's got to stop.
I agree.
It's got to stop. That's what's so great about VR is because length has nothing to do with value.
Right. It doesn't in gaming regardless.
Well, it doesn't, but in VR they understand that.
Now, that's not to say, I need to reiterate this, that's not to say that there are not longer games that are phenomenal.
And some games need to be longer, but not everything has to be 30 hours to be excellent.
Right. But it doesn't completely break down to the length equals it's worth this much.
Animal Crossing would be shitty if it was 15 minutes long.
Right.
But I've played games before that are 15 minutes long that were perfect.
Yes.
You know, 3/4 Home's a great example of like a 2-hour game that I super enjoyed.
Yep. God, 3/4 Home.
That game should not have been 30 hours.
No, there's no way it can be.
It would be a hot mess if it was 30 hours. Like,
yeah.
Tons of the VR games I've spoke about in the past, they're perfect at 5 and 6 hours, right? You can pick them up and you can finish it. It's a full experience. It's like watching a movie.
And as far as, right, and on the flip side of that, like the Mass Effect games.
They needed to be the length that they are.
100, some of them, you can play them. To be fair, you can make them close to certain lengths that you want, do choices and stuff, but for most people, I would imagine that goes between 90 and 110 hours, and that's a fucking lot of hours.
Mm-hmm. I don't mind that the price of games are going up. They should have probably gone up a long time ago. You're paying what you played 10 years ago for a fucking game.
Yep.
If you're bitching about it, then understand how it works. The budgets are up 400%, I think is what they said, to make a game versus 10 years ago. But yet the price you sell it for is the same.
And they're getting ready to bump you up by what?
$10, which is still not going to cover
15%?
anything. Yeah, I think that's right. It's like, what, 15, 16%? It's not going to cover anything.
No.
So nut up, you know? It's the price. And guess what? Controllers are probably going to be more expensive too.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Most of your accessories are probably going to be
high-end pieces of technology that you're putting in your house, and there are hundreds and thousands of people working on some of these games.
Yeah.
You know, think all the hands that Last of Us 2 probably passed through.
Well, you're not getting to the point where you can get the experience that you want out of your, 1985 headphones from your Sony Walkman anymore either.
Right. But,
all of these accessories are going to be more to bring you the experience that these developers want to bring to you.
But embrace those cheaper, shorter experiences because Lost Legacy is one of the best Uncharted games.
Yeah, without a doubt.
It's excellent.
It's what, 7-8 hours?
Yeah, and it's excellent. And you don't play as Nate Drake. Spoiler alert. It's fucking great without him.
Yeah.
That game is excellent. So, like,
Chloe.
Some of the most fun we had last year was playing Man of Medan.
Man of Medan.
I can't wait for Little Hope.
Nope.
It looks so good. Did you see the collector's edition?
Yeah.
I'm almost a moron. I almost wanted to buy it.
I'm not, but yeah, I saw it.
When you buy it, it comes with a steelbook for both games. You get a steelbook for Man of Medan, you get a steelbook for the other. I can't wait to play that game, and that's going to be.
But I bought Man of Medan digitally, so.
Oh shit!
Steelbook doesn't do me no good. See,
put that digital copy in that digital steelbook. But yeah, I'm excited about that.
That's the only thing that sucks about digital is you can't. I would like to see him come up with some sort of, get a little bit of credit for trading in this digital game somehow. I know it's never going to happen, but so that's the only thing I do miss is because I was one of those that did trade in games.
It's tough. They'd have to take away your license and
right.
Trading into digital. It gets odd. So the collector's editions comes with some little plush doll, rag doll. It does come with a pin for the first and second game, so you get a little boat and the rag doll. You get a case that holds both of them, and you get a steelbook for each of them, and you get a world map, which is kind of neat because it's a Dark Pictures world map, so it's going to probably have all the locations for all their games on there.
Right.
You also get the soundtrack, which, I'm not going to drive down the road listening to the soundtrack for Little Hope. Not to be an asshole, but I'm not going to, so.
But you're just not.
I can't wait for this game. The game looks way more creepy to me than the last.
Yeah, it does seem to have more of a...
little girl's freaking me out right there.
I think this one's going to be more... What's a good way to put it?
Yeah, I'm curious what you're going to say here, because the last one was pretty damn freaky, too.
Yeah, the last one was a little more... jump scare-ish. I think this is going to be more Blair Witch.
What if this one may be a little more supernatural?
I think it's going to be more Blair Witch with...
Whereas, yeah, maybe.
Just being unsettling through the whole thing, as opposed to the jump scare aspect.
But I will tell you, for anyone who is like myself and just don't like scary games, movies, things like, it's way less scary when you're whoever you're playing with on the headset.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. And I don't mind scary stuff, but we had a lot of fun with it.
But it's way less scary. I was talking about that game with a friend of the show, Matt, the other day, because he's like, I'm not interested in that. And I'm like, I bet you're more interested in that than you realize.
Little Hope or Man of Medan?
Either one of them, just the idea.
Either one of them?
And so I talked about like some of the more in-depth stuff that you and I didn't talk about to not spoil it on here.
Right.
I talked about that stuff with him, and he was like, that's an amazing idea. That's super cool. Like, I still don't think it's for me, but I didn't know it did all that. And I'm like, yeah, it's fucking crazy. Because you and I didn't communicate. We agreed not to communicate what's happening, really. Right. So there was times where you were doing stuff that was totally entwined with what I was doing, and we didn't even realize it.
But the thing is what was so cool about it was you can't help but react.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I'm doing something, I'm freaked out, and I hear Ryan go, whoa. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Yeah, because you're like, oh shit, and I'm like, oh shit. Right. And we didn't realize until after the fact that our oh shits were tied together. Right. And you're not tied to a character, so the way you play them now influences how I play them. Yep. And it's a whole deal. And sometimes we're in the same room, so I heard what you said, and that's not how I've been playing the character. I mean, you saw me. I killed somebody with what I said in front of you. Yeah. That kind of stuff is, I don't know. That game was super cool. It's a super cool idea. I am jazzed up about Little Hope.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
It comes out also. Can we give a round of applause to Supermassive for releasing a game right at fucking Halloween, finally?
I know, right?
Somebody put a scary game out when they're supposed to. I've been bitching about that for 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, friend of the show, Matt, didn't like Until Dawn either, did he?
I can't remember. I don't honestly remember. His question was, can you couch co-op it? That's how they play most things, and you can't because
right.
I have to not see what you're doing.
Right.
Man of Medan would have been terrible if I saw what you were doing.
Yep, exactly. I agree.
The unknown is what made it so good, because I didn't realize, like I said, that so many of those things tied together in a way. Right. The game's great. If you haven't played it, go play it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Little Hope, again, that's coming out the 30th of October. Again, shout out to Supermassive. I also wish Sony would buy Supermassive.
Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome?
I felt more like they might buy them whenever they didn't lock down the Chronic. That's definitely not what I meant to say.
No.
Who is the Heavy Rain? Not the Chronic. Who's the Heavy Rain guys? Quantic Dreams. The Quantic. You know what I'm saying?
I got Dr. Dre stuck in my head now.
The Quantic. The Quantic Dreams. When they parted ways with them as far as exclusivity went, and they don't seem to be as in bed with them, I was hoping that you would see some moves for Supermassive, but now Supermassive is tied in with Bandai Namco or Konami or something. I think Bandai Namco.
One of them.
Yeah. Let's keep rolling here. We've got a couple more stories. The U.S. Army was doing some shady shit, or maybe not, on Twitch, and Twitch has put an end to it. Yeah. They would run streams. They do have esports teams for both the Army and the Navy. And the Army in particular was running a banner across the bottom that says, if you want to win an Elite Series 2 controller, click here. It then took you to a sign-up sheet that had no mention of winning anything and no details about the entry, where they collected your information. Again, to have an account on Twitch, you need to be 13 years of age. And they could then go over there, fill this form out. Now, they didn't call anyone under the age of 16, but you were basically signing up to be recruited, apparently. It seems.
Or have recruiters speak with you.
Yeah, speak with you. Now, they have since said that it takes you to GoArmy.com, and they do actually give away the controller. Everyone has a unique URL if you click through. So they claim either way Twitch said knock it off, and they have since knocked it off, and they have said that they are looking for other ways in which to do giveaways. And I would say maybe just less shady ways would be fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Giving away controllers is great. Just
yeah. Don't be shady about what you're entering your information in for.
When you take me to the same page that you're getting, let me know what that information is going to be used for and how I could win it. Mm-hmm. And I think we're fine. I don't think their strategy was bad. I think the execution was not good and maybe a little
poor.
Shady. Yeah. So that's the story. Dr. Disrespect has given an interview or several interviews. He's beating the same drum. Says he doesn't know why.
Yeah.
He says
so
basically.
We still don't have any answers to that.
I'm going to paraphrase here, but he says that he didn't have all his creator buttons on Twitch. He reached out to Twitch on why he was missing options, and he was informed that he has been removed from the platform. And that is what he knows. I will tell you that there is way more to the story than that.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. We just don't know what it is.
Whether he knows it, which I assume he does, or he doesn't. I don't know. He does refer into I think it's with the Washington Post. He does say that he is... he has legal options. He's got legal representation. So he refrained from talking about most things. He does link his YouTube channel now in his bio, so a lot of people were thinking he's going to be over there. He does not at this moment have any kind of deal worked out with him that has been announced. I don't know. So this is a weird video that you got playing here. Mm-hmm. It's like his silhouette. That's the video. It's got a silhouette of him in front of a
Lambo in a dark cyberpunk alley.
Yeah. That's what it looks like. It's that cat game that's coming out. That fucking Cybercat game.
Yeah.
with a red Lambo in the background.
It's
and
coming out on the PS4. Yeah.
I don't know. This story gets more weird. He also gave an interview with the Washington Post, which is owned by Bezos, who also owns Amazon, who happens to own Twitch. So that's some sort of weird full circle, too. It's not where you think he would give the interview.
What's going on?
Yeah. Who knows? That story gets more and more strange. What's that?
Is what it is.
That's cat lateral damage. Yeah, it's that one. What's that one called? Stray. I think we'll skip that next story. Unless you feel like you need to do that one. Are we going to skip that? No Man's Sky getting a new update called Desolation, which sounds like my nightmares.
Yeah. Basically it's
abandoned
No
freighters.
Man's Sky Dead Space Edition.
It's abandoned freighters. You can either discover them naturally, or you can pay for coordinates, and you go up and you explore an abandoned freighter. The reward is high, the risk is high. You can find stuff for your own freighters when you're there. It seems extra creepy. Not only are there sentinels on board that are very aggressive, there are also apparently space bugs that can attack you.
Aliens of some sort.
It's all dark inside of there. You can't see well. They have also improved the combat to be way snappier and way more responsive for these combat situations.
Yep.
Looks terrifying. Now, again, if you go in with a buddy, probably not so scary.
Probably not.
Always the buddy system is important.
That's in everything.
We talked about Nintendo putting out the weird Lego collab where they have the weird blocky style Mario that talks and makes noises, and it's a real bastard of a looking product.
I don't like it. I will not be getting this. It's available August 1st.
Doesn't look great at all. But what Nintendo did announce in partnership with Lego was maybe the best looking set that they've ever made ever.
I don't know about ever, but it's good.
No, ever. The Lego Group announced the Lego Nintendo Entertainment System building kit for adults. It's exactly what it sounds like. It is an NES, a controller, a cartridge, and a fucking TV.
And the game on the TV is somehow you can manipulate it to actually play it.
It's spooled. You turn a knob and it actually, Mario, goes through it. It is so fucking cool looking. I mean, look at this. The controller plugs in.
Yeah,
it's so good. It's so good. He blew on the cartridge.
He blew on the cartridge. You could put the cartridge in.
Yeah, and it's got the little crank which actually moves Mario through it. It doesn't appear that you have to manipulate Mario. Just that when you crank
just
it,
that crank, move. Yep.
The system is elegant. It's sexy. It's expensive. It's $229.99, I think.
It is expensive.
Is that right, Gerald? $229.99. It's so fucking awesome looking. It's 2,000 plus pieces.
CRT TV. Yeah.
2,000 something pieces. I don't see it here. Gerald's already pre-ordered it. Where'd you pre-order it from?
Lego.com.
Oh, okay. Does that pre-order it when you wishlist it? Oh, I saw wishlist, but I didn't know what I thought that was just going to tell me when it's available. So, anyways, this is coming out August 1st. The reason we told you about the shitty Lego set that's coming out that's Nintendo tied in is because you can set that Mario on top of there, and what he's doing on the TV plays out of that Mario.
Yeah.
Which is kind of neat.
I still don't like it.
Yeah.
Still ain't getting it.
The Mario course stuff is weird.
Yeah.
But man, that TV NES is great, and I will also buy it if I can get one. I bet it's going to be hard to find.
Oh, probably. I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm going to get one.
It'll be out quick.
Are you interested in getting one, Dan?
Me? Yeah. I don't know that I will at that price. I just bought a boat, but...
Yeah. It's really expensive. I mean,
that's going to be my excuse for a good bit. I just don't know if I can afford it. I bought a boat.
That's not an insignificant amount of money.
No.
For Lego. Or for anything. I mean, that's...
Or for anything.
Yeah, it's $250 after tax. Gerald says brand new in the box, that thing will be $1,000 in 2 years, and I don't disagree.
I don't doubt it. Yeah.
That's going to do it for the news. We're running a little bit long. We want to thank Zach. Want to thank Thomas, friend of the show Zach, friend of the show Thomas for making this episode happen. Shout out to those guys. You can follow us on the social medias. I am at Podcast Ryan. Dan is at Shirtless Dan, and Gerald is at Hoffman Show. Again, he pulled the news. If you don't like it, let him know.
Let him know.
If you want to support us, head over to patreon.com/Gamestitch. It would appear that the hard times are not over for the world, so if you can't afford to support us financially, we absolutely understand.
We get it.
Don't spend your last dime on us, but if you have the money, it goes to a good home. I can tell you in the 7 years that we've been doing this, and in the 3 to 4 years we've been asking for money, we've never used a dime for anything personally. So... all of that money is reinvested in the show or saved to reinvest in the show. So
agreed.
There are costs to doing this. There are server costs. There are, we have equipment, time is money, all those things. So, yeah. Support us if you can. If you can't, that's fine too.
We get it.
Tell your harbor master about us.
Yes.
Tell your lighthouse operator about us.
That's right. That's right.
Tell Reggie about us.
Tell Reggie. Reggie or Richard or Kevin.
Or fucking anyone that's going to bring people over, to be honest with you.
Yeah, cool. We're good with that, too.
You got a friend at a supermarket that's pretty popular? I mean, let us know. We're not super picky. Also, if you listen and you own a Slingshot, get at me. Let me know. Let's talk. Or if you own a... Vanderhill, reach out to
Vanderhill. Or Can-Am.
Or a boat guy.
Or if you're a boat guy.
Because Dan's a new boat guy. Or if you're interested in purchasing any of the bullshit I have laying around, let me know. But fire sell some stuff. Got to sell some old VW Bugs.
Uh-huh.
Yep. An old
Toyota Celica.
A 2001 GTS if you're interested in that. I've got a nice push mower. Self-propelled, battery-operated, Craftsman, new in the box. I got some deals I can just let me know. DM me. Slide up in them DMs.
Slide up in my DMs.
Slide up in everything must go. Store closing. Look at that GTS. Look at it. Silver.
There it is.
It's silver if you guys are interested.
It's silver. There we go.
It's had a life, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
They say like dents and scratches tell a story. It's got a lot of stories to tell. She ain't perfect.
All right. Well, guess that's it.
That's it.
I think we're finished. I think we did our part for today.
Great job with the news, Gerald.
Excellent job.
Great job being late, Dan.
Uh-huh.
You called me out that time I was late. I want to just return the favor.
Why were you late?
Gerald, Dan was late is late. Dan was 8 minutes late this morning, everybody.
Okay,
8 minutes late this morning.
Okay, yeah. Oversleeping and technical difficulties are two different things.
Look, so here's the thing. If you want to talk about the most egregious, I overslept and I told you. You couldn't get Skype to work and you told us. Gerald somehow didn't have internet or a cell phone signal to let us know. You decide which one of those is the most egregious.
Or data, or anything to just say, hey.
He had nothing. He had no way. He sent the pigeon out, didn't make it in time. Likely stories, all I'm saying. He also can't defend himself because you guys can't hear him, but he's talking. He's trying. That's going to do it for us, guys. Stay safe.
Stay cool.
Be good to each other. Be excellent to each other. And we'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Good night.
Good night.